And it's showtime, another Madden 18 stream. How is everybody doing tonight? Or this afternoon, or whenever you're watching this. Maybe you're watching this on playback. Anyway, stream is live, I think. And we ought to be good to go. Round 2 of the fantasy franchise here on Madden 18. Welcome everyone to the channel. My name is MrHurriicane, and I'm a football guy. Welcome. Just getting everything all set up here so we can play some more games with the team I drafted yesterday. Why don't we get some music going up here? 1 second. Let's go. I think we good to go. Good to see a lot of you already waiting around for the stream after what was kind of it was an okay stream. It wasn't great. Whoops, dropped the controller. That's not great. The stream, the gameplay wasn't where I wanted it yesterday, but I have reinstalled the game, and I'm hoping today we get some smoother games and hopefully some more entertaining action. We won the first game against the Jets, suffered an unnecessary injury down the line to Terrell Suggs. Webcam is crooked, it's bothering me. Alright, over 200 viewers now in the stream. So in our second game, we take on the Panthers. I might sim a couple of these games just to see, just to get by a little bit quicker. I like to play closer to like 10 of these games than 16, and then go to playoffs if we make it that far. So I'm just going to load up and get us going into the Panthers game here. When is the reveal? Okay. Franchise reveal is going to be tomorrow. I have the notes for it here and a lot of gameplay captured. My notes are right next to me. Talking about the players to talk about. There's a lot of information on here that you'd like to know about, but you're not going to until tomorrow. I have the gameplay captured. I'll be putting it all together, and it'll be out tomorrow. What's likely going to happen is I'm going to stream. And as soon as that stream is over, bang! Franchise reveal coming your way. That'll be the plan. As far as why my eyes are always black, I wish I knew. I'd tell you if I could. I don't know. I've been getting that question for years. All right. And of course, I'll be getting back to some other series here soon. I have a lot to work on right now with Madden, so I haven't gotten to my Panthers Dynasty or the Chargers franchise in a minute. So don't worry, those are coming too. But when Madden's fresh, that's going to be the priority. I'm hoping tomorrow I can stream maybe a bit earlier in the day. That way the franchise reveal is out there a bit earlier as well. If you missed the first episode and the draft, of course, I think our team is pretty well rounded. We have a pretty good offensive line, Marshawn Lynch at running back, Tyrod Taylor, and I like our wide receivers. Our wide receivers. As far as defense goes, we drafted Khalil Mack with our first pick in the draft. And if you want a little refreshing look at things here. Oh, great question here. What's your opinion on vanilla pudding? Vanilla pudding is a good flavor. However, the optimal flavor of pudding would be the vanilla chocolate swirl. Those two complement one another very well. And I don't think you can have one without the other. So that's what I'd have to say. Like I said, good old line. I like the offense. Defense, we have some holes, especially with Terrell Suggs now hurt. TJ Watt will start in his place. At linebacker, we are pretty old, but we have two good veterans there in Dansby and Derek Johnson. I like our secondary led by Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie, although did not get Buda Baker like I hoped I could. And I got the first super chat of the day. Let me pull that up here and let's play some ball. We're going to be on defense to start things off. I was playing Mutt for a lot of today, so I'm not used to a kicker that can actually send it inside the 5-yard line. Alrighty, from 27 Super Yankees, from someone who has baggy eyes, I feel your pain. Yeah, I always look tired. Or as many have told me, high. But, that's not the case. I don't know if it's from years of sleep deprivation, also known as high school, but it's been like, I graduated high school in 2011, so I don't know. That's a while ago. Let's get things underway. Dalton play faking right down the middle. That is Jones. Please don't be Julio. It is, though, isn't it? This is how we're going to learn about our opponents here. And I'm going to say, I didn't see the CPU make a single play like that yesterday, so I'm already feeling like this is a good start. New sub here, just checking out the channel. Thanks for joining us, Tommy. If you like franchise, you'll like the contents here. If you want to see what this channel is all about, oh my god, Julio Jones! If you want to see what this channel is all about, check out my Kalispell Dynasty and my Chargers franchise. There's no better representation of what I love with these games than those two series. If you like baseball, that Twins franchise is a blast. Wow. Yeah, cover 2 and zone coverage this year is off to a rocky start. We're going to need some improvements. CPU, though, attacking. Let me get to the coaching, not Super Sim. Need to get to coaching adjustments. I want to go by overall. I recommend always doing that before you get into a game. How do you get so good? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Was it my defense that's so good? You get good. Really, there's pretty much, well, as Dalton tries to run option, pretty much a one-size-fits-all rule for getting better, and that's repetition. And if you're engaged and actively focused on getting better at whatever it is, it'll make it a lot easier. Go back and watch some of my older content, and you'll see just how far I've had to come. Uh-oh, jump ball! Knocked away from Julio Jones. Is 7-minute quarters long enough for franchise this year, or is that just for this franchise? That'll just be for this franchise. We're going to get about 70, 80 plays, which is, you know, about 60, 70% of what I want in a normal franchise game. So, I feel like it's good for a series like this, you know. 40 plays aside, I think is pretty good for a not-so-serious series. Here's 3rd and goal. Dalton. Nope. Kyle Williams. Or actually, was that Kyle Williams? I'm not even sure. Julio Jones, 400 yards prediction. Okay. Settle down here. We are not the Carolina Panthers secondary. That was such a fun week, though. As I've talked about before, I do play a lot of DFS, and that week I was like all in on Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, so I had a great time watching that game. Rest of my lineups were trash outside of them, but they did the job. Alrighty, Tyrod Taylor. Had to get him a team with receivers, as we are trailing here by 3 in the first. How about a change in song, everybody? Over 500 viewers here. Let's change it up here. Let's start things with a little counter action. Marshawn Lynch breaking tackles. Gain of 9. Really hope he doesn't get hurt, though, because I did not address backup running back for a while. Can't wait to see Kane throw some INTs. Hey, you know, whenever you click on one of my videos, that is a very likely event. Here is Dominic Harris on the reception. We got 8 yards here from Tyrod. The offense looks solid in that first episode. Is the game playing any better? From what I've seen so far and what I've played today offline, because online is pretty much uniform, but as far as franchise goes, I did some practice before this stream. It went well. I was trying to record some Matt Pierre stuff for the second channel. Gameplay was smooth. I'm running into some crashing issues, and if anybody has had crashing issues yet, let me know. Where I'm encountering it is in weeks 2 and 3 of the preseason. I have yet to see a crash, knock on whatever this material is, in the regular season. But in preseason weeks 2 and 3, I can get consistent crashes, especially after fielding kickoffs and the ball carrier is tackled. So I'm going to run some more tests tonight, and I'm going to see if I can get that Matt Pierre series off the ground finally. That's held up a lot of stuff because I've been trying to get that going. Oh, the back juke and the truck stick combo. first down on a 3rd and 10, but Lynch is down. I just checked it down on 3rd and 10. It worked, and now Marshawn Lynch is injured. He is one of the players I'm not sure we can afford to get hurt. So we have 3 rookie running backs on the team. Jamal Williams, we have Donnell Pumphrey, and we have, oh boy, forgot the 4th one. So this could be a little dicey if Marshawn is going to miss some time. Will you ever bump it up to all Madden? I will with sliders, but default all Madden, what's the point? Like I talked about in my all Madden gameplay discussion video, I don't see the point in all Madden in its current state. I don't know who that game is catered to. It is difficult in the way that it makes like the players you have irrelevant. Doesn't matter that you have good players on your team. How's that fun? I think all Madden needs a makeover. Complete makeover. Super chat time from Damon Piaquidito. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Thank you for the super chat. I'm using the Jets in CFM, and I want to know if I should trade for Josh Dobbs or Davis Webb. I need a quarterback. I think I'm a Josh Dobbs guy. I have not seen their ratings, though, or how close together they are. Marshawn Lynch, bruised sternum. I think that's going to be just an end-of-game injury. So, it's not major, but it is going to impact the rest of this game. And the idea with this stream today is we're going to play 2 games. I might sim one of the weeks or something like that. Let's go on the outside here, just in time to Terrell Pryor. First down. Having a good time on Ultimate Team so far. I've spent a fair amount of time in there on videos for the 2nd channel. Episode 2 is now up, but I would recommend waiting until the end of the stream to watch that. Although I gotta get better about, like, uploading videos on my channels and give them some breathing room. I know they're different channels, but I posted my MUT video, like, 3 minutes before I went live here. Not ideal. Alright, smart route that, Terrell. Along with you, Decker. Here's 2nd and goal. No bluff on the blitz. Oh, man! How'd that pressure get there so fast? It's Reggie Ragland. Crimson Tide represent. This feels way better than yesterday, by the way. It's been way more fun. So Jamal Williams here. That's a rookie blitz pickup right there. That's why rookie running backs tend to have, don't always work into the starting rotation very early on, because come 3rd down, a lot of them aren't ready. Donnell Pumphrey on the screen pass here, and thought I could go inside there and have the best bet. Couldn't make it, so we're going to attempt a field goal here. We've seen pretty decent performance so far out of Carolina. Will I ever do NHL 18 content? I'd like to, but I don't think I'll get around to it this year. Maybe on EA Access, I'll try it out. Same thing with live. I might as well make the most of the access. I'm assuming that both titles are not far off. When is NBA Live's release date, by the way? Isn't it the 15th of September? Here is Henderson on the return. Kane, who's the biggest sleeper in fantasy this year? AP? No, I think Adrian Peterson is one of the biggest busts in fantasy this year. He is on the wrong team. He is not on a team where they're going to play low-scoring, defensive, ground-and-pound football. He's on a team where the defense is probably going to allow a lot of points, and they're going to have to pass the football. And beyond that, they're a team that wants to pass the football. I think Peterson's best bet is getting some red zone touchdowns, but I'm really concerned about his yardage upside this year. And you still have Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara to worry about, and those guys are going to get some touches. Ingram, you know he's going to get his, and I want to see how much they use Kamara. as we recover the fumble. Thank you. Touchdown, Buffalo. But I don't think Peterson is a very good pickup for fantasy this year. As far as sleepers go, one of the players I want to prioritize is Devontae Parker. I think that Jay Cutler is going to throw the ball his way a million times this year. I'd be a little bit more concerned about Jarvis Landry's production because I do think that Parker is going to be in line for a very productive season. And from what I've seen, Devontae Parker is going a lot later in drafts than I would think he'll end up as far as like rankings toward the end of the year. Let's see, other sleepers here. If I think about different teams. On the Vikings, like I wouldn't, the only guy I'd really want to get that badly on the Vikings is probably Dalvin Cook. Because I do think that he's going to get the lion's share of the workload. And I think he'll be able to keep Latavius Murray off the field except for certain situations. However, those might be situations in the red zone where touchdowns are more likely. But I still think that Dalvin Cook has a ton of upside this year. I'd also look at Zay Jones because Tyrod Taylor has to throw it to somebody. For the same reasoning, I'd say Charles Clay is someone. You shouldn't prioritize them because we're not really sure how good Buffalo's going to be. But I have enough faith in Tyrod to take one of those pass catchers later on, maybe as a flex. And it's a give to Adrian Peterson. I had no idea he was actually a part of the festivities here today. Sterling Shepard, there's a lot of mouths to feed there in New York. But I still think that Shepard will get, he'll get his. He's just too good at getting open. And a super chat from Jedi Messiah. My franchise predictions this year. I'm not quite sure what, you're trying to say with that message. My franchise predictions this year. Oh, it's a screen. Out to Peterson. He's going to have some blocking, and he will get this inside the 25-yard line. Dalton 5 of 7 for 102 so far. How do you feel about Diggs for fantasy? I feel pretty good. I think his touchdowns will go up this year. Basically because they were so low last year. It was only 3. So I feel like Diggs is a solid wide receiver 2 on a fantasy team. But Adam Thielen's going to get looks in the red zone. Kyle Rudolph is. The Vikings should not be a high-scoring offense, but yet they have the talent to spread the football around. And that's what worries me about them for fantasy. They're going to score like probably 23, 24 points a game. And you just don't know who the touchdowns are going to, or if anybody's going to even have standout numbers. I think the safest bet would be Kyle Rudolph. Intercepted DRC. But yeah, Kyle Rudolph, safe bet, especially because Sam Bradford seems to really like him. And a super chat from Jedi Messiah. I commented on yesterday's stream vid. I don't remember. I'm a little bit confused here. Whoa, more super chats rolling in here. I apologize, I don't really know how to respond, Jedi Messiah, but I will look for your comment on that video and I will respond to it if I can find it after the stream is over. I'll write that down. And more super chats rolling in here. We have one from Jamila the Killer Coon. John Kuhn down in New Orleans, probably going to vulture some more touchdowns from that New Orleans backfield. And from Poetron, I apologize for the pronunciations here. You should be the Patriots this year for franchise so you get all your favorite prospects. Oh, that's an excellent point. That is a great point. The Patriots love taking my favorite players in the draft. And I'm still upset they took Ralph Hendricks, the cornerback, a couple of franchises ago. There was no reason for them to take him when they did, except for knowing that I wanted him. Do you watch Last Chance U? I haven't, but I've seen more people asking about that. And I'm like begging for a show to watch on Netflix. They took away Bob's Burgers and Psych, so there goes my fun. So I will definitely have to check that out sometime. And I love football TV and movies, so I don't know why I haven't checked it out yet. Here's Dominic Harris. Another super chat here from Jedi Messiah. I only get 50 characters. Work with me here. Franchise reveal is tomorrow, for those of you still wondering about that. It will be up tomorrow. Donnell Pumphrey checks in here. We have Tyrod Taylor firing complete to Terrell Pryor. Watch All or Nothing on Prime. I need to watch All or Nothing. I don't know why I haven't checked that out either. I'm really good at like banking up certain things that I know I should watch or play. Like my video game backlog is an embarrassment. Just some of the stuff I haven't gotten around to finishing. Is this sim or competitive? It is sim. You can always check that by looking at the EA Sports logo on the upper left-hand corner of the scoreboard, and it'll say what style you're on at all times. Ah, man, Williams is not getting anywhere near the room that Lynch was. 6 carries, 9 yards. I do not watch Hard Knocks. I don't have HBO. Wow, left tackle Andrew Whitworth. What was that? Super chat from Mad Dog 561. I have Fournette, Malcolm Mitchell, and Blunt as my sleepers for fantasy football. I would definitely be buyer beware on LeGarrette Blunt, because the chatter around everything so far is that there's a possibility he could even get cut. Now, if he makes the team, maybe finishes the preseason strong, we'll see. But outside of him in New England, I'm definitely looking in other directions. Carlos Hyde. Every year I'm high on Carlos Hyde, and I'm wrong. So this year, I'm very lax. But I will say that for Carlos Hyde, it's a contract year. So if there's any year for him to really break out, it's this one. As far as the other sleepers, Fournette, not sure I'd call him a sleeper. I think he's going to be a solid pickup. Might go a little bit higher than he should in fantasy drafts, though. Malcolm Mitchell. Patriot receivers are a pain to work around in fantasy. But I like what I saw from Mitchell last year. There's a nice catch by Henderson here. I want to see who that is. Is that the only Henderson that comes to mind? There are two. There's Carlos Henderson, a rookie, and there's Devery Henderson, who hasn't played in like 3 years. Carlos Henderson, okay. I read an article today that they announced Blunt a secure starter. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a terrible bet. I just wouldn't take him very high. So Carolina's getting the passing game again going against us here. Andy Dalton trying to get them back on the scoreboard. 44 seconds to go in the half. And Andy checked down to Peterson. That was almost a knockaway or deflection. How do you think Eddie Lacy is going to do for my Seahawks? I'm not really sure because I like Thomas Rawls. I like CJ Procise, although I think he's a little banged up right now. I'm not really super high on Lacey this year. Nice catch by Cook. But I think a lot of that has to do with the offensive line. I just wonder how well he's going to create yardage that isn't there. When he played in Green Bay, they pretty much always had a good interior line. And I'm a lot more concerned about running behind that Seattle offensive line. Andy Dalton fires complete again. Julio, I might want to switch up. Whoa. They just let the clock run out? I didn't even realize how little time was left. I figured they were just calling timeouts. Alright, so it's still 10-3 here as the Panthers botch that. Game playing better, but I want to make a video talking about things franchise still needs. This wasn't a big year for franchise improvements, so I want to make a video talking about what franchise needs as the next step. Wow, that hurt my face. And I also want to talk about, highlight some of these flaws in that video too, like the CPU game management and some of their, there's levels to this game management that needs improving, from ball carrier distribution, from play calling against what you do best, whether it's stacking the box because you love to run, or focusing on pass rush if you're a deep passing team or something, or just counters to what you like to do. I think that the level of strategy the CPU implements is very shallow. Do I think Corey Clement will be good? He's fighting for a roster spot, and there are a lot of players in front of him. He's got to beat out Pumphrey and Smallwood, as that is caught, but that was late. Don't throw it late to the outside. Bad idea. Do you think Kaiser should start for the Browns? I know I love to see him start, and I think he offers them the brightest future out of the quarterbacks on that roster. Should he start day one? I mean, I could get behind starting him and also giving him time. But, yeah, start him. Let's see what happens. I haven't really watched Kenny Golladay very closely, but from the looks of things, at least from the surface, the Lions made a good selection there. Definitely intrigued because he offers something. He offers more physicality than you'll see from Marvin Jones and Golden Tate. Alright, first down here. Haven't had much of a running game since Lynch went down, so it's been all about Tyrod's arm and maybe his legs here as we get outside the pocket, and we'll play it safe. I might want to get used to that this year and not get my quarterbacks injured. I really want to know what the injuries are going to do to my franchise this year, because it can be so much different than it has been in the past. You know, a lot of teams are playoff teams until they suffer an injury in the wrong spot. Not just quarterback. Maybe your top defensive lineman goes down. You know, NFL rosters can be very fragile. And I feel like, you know, if a team were to stay like most teams would be top 5 healthy, they could be borderline playoff almost no matter who they are, if just they don't suffer the wrong injuries. Maybe not that much, but injuries are such a big factor. Oh man, nearly picked. D-line drop, wasn't ready for that. Put your injury slider at 5. That seems like it would be way too low. I'm personally thinking that 30 will probably work okay, maybe 25. 40 in a 15-minute quarter deal, I think is just going to be too much. Tyrod, oh, overthrow that big time. I was trying to lead him to the inside and test that safety, but Tyrod didn't put it there. Who's hurt? I couldn't see anything there. Please don't be an O-lineman. It is not a player on my team. It looks like Starlet Tulale. How do I draft in Madden? I know how, but I'm not good at it. My whole thing with the draft is just finding... Well, I know what I consider to be like a good talent that I want to draft as we overthrow another here. But I think the key to drafting is just giving yourself as many options as possible, and don't focus so much high on the board. Don't focus on all the first and second round picks, although they are going to be the better players. You want to get yourself as many chances. And honestly, I think overdrafting is a pretty decent strategy in the game, because if you know the third rounders are good, if you know the fourth rounders are good, I don't really care about value all the time. I want to make sure I get as many good players as possible. If you try to get good value, sometimes you'll miss out and you'll end up with having to take maybe your second favorite option at a position because you just didn't want to take the number one guy earlier. And there's no one-size-fits-all rule, because you have elite players, good players, high upside players. So I have to approach every situation a little bit differently. But generally speaking, I don't mind overdrafting based on projections. I just want to get good players. So the first thing I do is I look at late first rounders, second rounders, and then try to look at a lot of those third and fourths as well. Oh, Cook! Forgot about the football. How do you stay interested in your franchise so long? Because I've been struggling with that for a lot of years. I think that's a problem for a lot of people. I used to have that too. I mean, YouTube is going to keep me very invested in it. And just the dynamic of having so many of you watching, leaving feedback, enjoying the series as well. That's a big part of it. But also just having games that are fun to play. And I think having good sliders is a huge part of it, so that from game to game you enjoy it, whether you win or lose. But I mean, it's hard to say why I stay into it all the time the way I do, because there are, you know, like video game stories I tend to have a very hard time getting into. I like the cinematic approach to games that is brought from games like Last of Us or Uncharted. I want really cinematic games. When a game just tries to tell a story and you stay in like the first person camera and there's not really cutscenes, you don't see people all the time, it's a lot of listening and less looking. That's where I tend to lose interest. I have a tough time getting into game stories. Really tough time. I guess one example of me loving a story where it's not so cinematic would be Persona. Well, that's because the writing is better than pretty much any other game out there. Persona is a fantastic series. Let's see, we have 500 viewers here in the stream. Can we get to 220 likes? Can we get like 80 more likes in here? 81. Oops, trying to cut up field here. That didn't work out very well. But Jamal Williams doesn't care. And he stayed on his feet just long enough for a flag to come in. Ruin all the fun. Who is your fourth running back after the top three? Johnson, Bell, McCoy? That's a good question, because I think that there is a bunch of running backs you can consider. I was thinking about that the other day, though. Like, if I had to name my top 5 running backs, I think it'd be really difficult. I know this has nothing to do with Madden, but how long do you plan on having the Kalispell Dynasty go for? There is no plan for the overall series length, but if I had to predict, I'd say about, overthrown. I think 10 seasons is a possibility, but there's also a possibility it goes further for a number of different reasons. So, I think 10 is like minimum. And I I've really enjoyed that series. The feedback has been excellent in it as we connect Jacob Tammy. So yeah, Kalispell is going to be around here for a while. As far as the Twins franchise goes, I have no idea. I know that I don't have plans to do another team. I really just wanted to do a Twins franchise. It's going to go into MLB 18, which is one of the reasons why I'm actually doing the series, because I don't have a... I can just pick up my progress next year. I know it's going to be fine. So, Twins, I'm assuming that it's going to go for a while, and I've really enjoyed that series. I have never had as much fun on the show as I have this year, by far. Most fun I've had playing a baseball game, a simulation baseball game, since MVP 2005. What do I think about the Kyrie Irving trade? I think I'm one of the last people you'd want an NBA take from, but you asked. So, I think that it's a trade that works out for both sides. Isaiah Thomas, what was it? Who else is going? Was it Jay Crowder going to Cleveland? I mean, there was an instance when Percy Harvin wanted out of Minnesota, and I'm like, okay, trade him, because I don't think that it's good for teams to have players that don't want to be there. I think it hangs a negative cloud over the team. So part of that is I just think that it was good they got something for him, and they got some really good players, and I think they got picks as well. For Boston, obviously get Kyrie Irving, so that's a big pickup for them. And they still have a lot of other talent on that team, so I think it'll work out for both sides. Definitely shocking, though. NBA off seasons are fun. I should get into basketball more. Up by 17 here in the fourth quarter. Just too many turnovers from this Panther offense. They've moved the football well. Knocked away. Man, another injury. I get scared every time I see that. What happened to Beast Mode? He suffered a bruised sternum on a Beast Mode-like run that involved a back juke and a truck stick all on the same play. He'll be back next game, I'm pretty sure. Andy Dalton, quick throw. Tevin Coleman not going to get there. Another injury, and now it's on one of our players. The franchise reveal is not after this stream. It'll be after tomorrow's stream. Mayweather or McGregor? I think the safe money is on Mayweather. I want to see... Oh, Mack was hurt? Yeah, don't force anything there with Khalil Mack. I want to know what the odds are going to be and what the money line is going to be, though, for the fight. I just wonder, like, you know, if you... Not that I'm going to put any money on the fight, but I just wonder what $100 is going to score you if Mayweather loses. Like, how big of an underdog is McGregor going to be? Any thoughts on Kenny Golladay? I talked about him already. I think that he offers something. He's going to be a bit more physical than I think Jones and Tate will play. So I think that he'll get some looks in the red zone. Not sure how productive he'll be, but he's definitely a rookie to keep an eye on. Just finished watching your Mutt video. Honestly, that is one of the best series on your channel in a while. Well, I'm happy to hear that. I was hoping that Ultimate Team would catch on there. I've had a fun couple episodes, and I'm hoping that we can stick with it a bit more this year and maybe get into some of the promos I've never been a part of and just collect some more cards. You know what Ultimate Team is. Just get more into it. Will the Raiders regress? I think there's a good chance, just based on the defensive concerns. I don't think they're going to be a bad team, though. I think they're going to be a playoff team. But I am concerned about that defense, for sure. Let's change songs. I'm surprised no one's calling for that. Maybe you are and I just can't see. 2nd down and 7. Oh, come on. You saw my slot receiver there get caught up. What do you think about long shot? So far, I think I've played about an hour of long shot, and it's really cool. It's a bit, it's a little bit different than I thought it was going to be. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, so I'm not going to talk a lot about it. But I think it's fun, and so far, I do like it. Bump free almost got us all the yardage. I think I gotta make like a tip video in this game about take out your players when you're up in the 4th quarter. That's what I'm about to do because I don't want another injury to happen like yesterday. Let's get Ronald Blair in the game. Let's get Willie Young in the game. How about Jaleel Johnson? Jay Howard. I think we're thin in the... We have very little off-ball linebacker depth. And then I'm going to play Tease Tabber and Senquez Golson. We're going to get Eric Murray, the speedy safety, in there. And Marcus May is already going to play because Neal got hurt. We're up 20, though, in the 4th quarter. We're going to play another game after this, too. TJ or Taco Charlton? I'm not really sure. I haven't watched those players very closely, so I can't really make an educated guess one way or another. I just got Khalil Mack hurt on that kickoff. Unreal. I don't want him out there on special teams. You know what? That's another tip. Can you formation sub in special teams? Because that's going to be a way to keep your players from getting hurt there. For instance, if you are late in the game and you turn all your first stringers into second stringers and vice versa, all of a sudden, you now have a different special teams unit. I don't want that to be the case in my franchise because I don't want my starters getting hurt up 20 points in the 4th quarter. So I think that formation subs for special teams are really important if you can do it. I have never watched Game of Thrones, no. Bruised elbow. Max tough. He's not gonna miss any games, but I need him to leave the field for now. Yes, you can form sub special teams. That's got to be one of my biggest franchise tips of the year then. Oh, Julio. I kind of forgot about Jones. Wow. The way he started the game, I was really worried, actually, that we would be a little bit more contested. Okay, 2 minutes left to go in the game now, and Andy Dalton will throw. And he's going nowhere. When Curl Flats has covered the seat. Well, actually, that wasn't even Curl Flats. The positioning kind of reminded me of that. I want the CPU to do a better job of reacting when the play is covered. Like, get rid of the football or something. But this certainly played better than yesterday's game, even if the score is worse. Is man coverage better this year? In some instances, it does seem tighter. But in the same breath, it seems like a lot of the same routes will have a lot of success. Knock that away. How about that right there? I gotta go back into that. That was phenomenal coverage. Who made that play? Senquez Golson. There we go. Good positioning. 4th down and 15 yards to go. And with Andy Dalton back to pass, he will find Carlos Henderson at the 16. That's one way to beat cover 2 right there, that hole between the flat and the deep. Here's Andy on 1st down. Dalton in the flats has Cook again, and it's a 1st and goal. How is Mandy on slants? That's a good question, and I don't know the answer to it right now. I haven't called slants a lot in a couple of years on Madden because the CPU tends to counter it with cover 3, and slants against cover 3 is a nightmare, especially with good coverage or good pass rush. So, touchdown Carolina, they finally find the end zone. This was a lot more fun of a game than the one I played yesterday, too. That's what's important here. I want to keep it fun. New music, please. I mean, the same 3 songs aren't doing it for you? We're going to switch it up. Oops. I got my onside kick team out there. I might make a little franchise tips video, though, and I think that that special teams formation sub tip, probably a pretty good one. Is that good? Because, I mean, you don't want to see any of your starters go into the game in special teams for any reason, and it's been the same setup for a number of years. Like, your second tight end is always out there, like your second middle linebacker who is a starter in a 3-4 defense. I think that's a really vital tip that can help people out in franchise. Mandy on slants is bad from experience. Yeah, I'd like to look at that and see if it's the release that's bad. Like, does the DB suck at jamming on the slant? Or is it just the coverage itself is bad? You know what? Throwing this away. I don't know why I'm even, like, throwing the football right now at Tyrod. Can't you just play regular music? How do we define regular music? I got all my stuff from a couple audio libraries that I can get tracks from. I try to get you guys some variety. I'm also picky about what I use. This is the song When You Lose, isn't it? It's one of them. You want to hear the other one? From the audio library, the YouTube audio library, here is Keys to the Kingdom. This is the We Just Lost, and it's time to create a sad mood music. Doesn't really fit here, up 23-10 though. Dalton, down the middle, Julio! I also like this song a lot. This one from the audio library again, YouTube audio library. This is called Eden. It does come with risks. You might end up with second and third stringers rated 60 to 75 on the field. Well, that's who I want on special teams. I don't want my starters out there. And the concern is that if I put starters on the bench in the 4th quarter, that they're then going to play special teams and face unnecessary injury risk. Deep ball. What a catch. Julio Jones is going to go for 200. This song brings back painful national championship memories. Yeah. This is my Jordan Starks. It's not gameplay, so I want to spice up the audio music. I'll play this during like simming or on the menu. Alright, game over. 23-10, Buffalo wins. Alright, there's game number 2 in the books, everybody. That was a fun game. I had a lot more fun than in yesterday's game, so I'm going to pause the music for now. What do we got here for numbers? Andy Dalton, 362 yards on us. I gave up way too many chunk plays, and it could have been way different without the turnovers, of course. Jamal Williams didn't get us a whole lot of the ground. Marshawn Lynch only had a few touches. Julio Jones had 244 against me. What did he have against the Panthers? Wasn't it like, I forget, but that's in the ballpark. It's nice seeing the CPU attack like that, though. Thoughts on Patrick Mahomes? I like Patrick Mahomes, and I want to see him start. That's like the rookie I want to see start the most. Not Trubisky, not Kaiser, not any other rookie. I want to see Mahomes start. I know he's not going to, but who doesn't want to see him throw 80-yard deep balls to Tyreek Hill? Well, Jordan Starks hit 25 home runs. I'm counting on it in his rookie season with the Padres. If you haven't checked out my Jordan Starks Road to the Show series on my second channel, I highly recommend it. That was a series I started up. The game was fresh, wanted to put out some content, and it turned out that it was a lot of fun. And we're now 50 episodes in. Jones had 303 against the Panthers. Okay, so we weren't quite as bad. Now we take on the Denver Broncos. Why don't we check on injuries and see where the team is at? We will not have Terrell Suggs, but Marshawn Lynch will return for this Week 3 game. You know what? I want to see... I want to check out scouting and the negotiations quick, because I haven't done that quite yet in the game. Griffin Poley-Dixon. Top player is a strong safety. That's something you would have never seen in Madden 17. Top player being a strong safety. Wow. Two safeties in the top 3? I'm not actually going to do a draft in this series, but I at least want to take a look at some of these players. 4 quarterbacks, 3 running backs, 1 receiver. I have gone through to see like 6 receivers in the first round. I didn't actually scout though. 1 tight end, 1 left tackle. We have a spread here of a lot of talent in the first round. I like that. Whoa, that's maybe too many safeties here. You might get 6 first-round safeties in like 5 years. And they're all seem to be living up to the hype here. Maybe last early-round busts. Haven't spent a lot of time in the drafting yet, so... couldn't tell you what the tendencies are like. And then for contract renegotiations, just want to see how these are looking. I like seeing the numbers that players are requesting. I want to see higher overall. Oh, I think in a fantasy draft that the higher overall players get longer deals. I forget exactly how they structure it though. Because otherwise, if they kept the normal salaries, it'd be really messy, and you could potentially be way over the salary cap. I know in the past they had the salary caps in the game in fantasy draft. I don't remember when that was. It was a long time ago, I remember it. Next, Super Mega Baseball vid. I'm not sure about that one right now. I'm trying to get this Matt Pierre series going over there, and I'm hoping I can get that up tomorrow. I have the MUT going. I have the franchise reveal coming. Super Mega Baseball might take another week or so. Franchise reveals tomorrow, though. This has been a more fun stream, hasn't it? Have you guys enjoyed this one? Please do the old uniforms. You know what? I wish I would have read that comment a few minutes ago. That's a great idea. Is this the last game of the stream? This one will be. It's going to be a 2-game deal. And I'll just skip past the intro and get us right into the action. We're at home in this one. 2-0. Buffalo 0-2. Denver. Here we go. Taylor Gabriel getting us started. Yes, the franchise team has been decided. I've captured gameplay with them. I have notes about them right to my left. I'm looking at them right now. But the reveal will be tomorrow. Marshawn Lynch is back, baby. Beast mode. Hungry. Making up for lost time. Is Chad Kelly the backup or third string? I think he's my third string and Ryan Fitzpatrick is my second string. Oh, wide open on the slant there. Terrell Pryor, how did that happen? What'd they call? Ah. I just want to look at that again. Not a good call when 3 players are headed right to the middle of the field. What you get here, actually, is that this linebacker gets out of position. And that happens a lot in zone coverage. I think this is Jake Ryan, who shouldn't be a very highly rated player. He immediately gets sucked down to the flats, and boom, gives up his assignment over the middle. I want to see what his coverage ratings are. Just curious as he makes a major blunder. Jake Ryan, 78 overall, 78 awareness. With zone coverage, 72. That shouldn't be a bad combination. Certainly can do better, but in comparison, it's not the worst. And we run the football here, but not much for Marshawn. After this, I'm going straight to your MUT vid. I recommend it. The MUT video was fun today. I had a good time recording that one. Now, my MUT content is not for those of you that want to see a bunch of pack openings, but if you want to see me construct a team that is more of a budget squad and try to win games, usually with an underdog roster, that's going to be the place to be. He dropped it. Come on, Taylor. Who are we against in this one? Jarrell Casey, watch out. And then Shane Ray, Ryan Kerrigan off the edge. In the secondary, they have Delvin Breaux and Aaron Colvin. What difficulty is this? This is Simulation All-Pro. We're getting much better gameplay than yesterday. What time are you streaming tomorrow? I hope to stream earlier in the day, but I'm not 100% sure yet. Overthrown, to say the least. And the 50-yard field goal attempt. Got it. Do you like doing live vids? Yeah, I like streaming. I like doing live commentary. I got a lot more comfortable with live commentary doing those videos for a full year. I never really felt like I was in my element for a lot of the live commentary stuff, especially when it's not sports. Because when it's sports, I have so much I can talk about. But if I'm doing a playthrough of some random game, I don't always have the best talking points. Sports is my wheelhouse. So, as far as streams go, I mean, there's always a lot of back and forth here, a lot of question and answer. And, yeah, I've really enjoyed streaming. What's your favorite brand of water? Tap. With a filter. I'm always shocked when I see that, like, bottled water is so commonly purchased. And in some instances, it makes sense. Like, what if you're on a job site or something? You can't just go to the fridge. You need to go to the cooler and get a bottle of water. But I mean, like my parents like bottled water. And I'm like, why? Oh, got the pressure. There we go. Is that Tom Brady? I didn't even realize that till the sack there. I will say, though, that I do make like 1 or 2 exceptions when it comes to water. I like, and this is no sponsorship involved, but hey, if you work for these companies and you want to get in touch, do it. I like the Sobe Life Water. I like the dragon fruit flavor, and that has about 78% to do with the fact that it's dragon fruit, which actually I've tried dragon fruit. It's hard to find, but I don't like it that much, but the flavor is good. And then I also like, I can't remember the name of it. Oh, it's I think it's called like Nero or something. It's a weird looking bottle, and that's why it caught my attention. It's like sparkling water, but 99% of the time I just have filtered water. Okay, that's enough water talk for one stream. If you were a commentator, would you prefer doing play-by-play or color? I think I prefer doing play-by-play because I think my color commentary is more limited than my play-by-play, if that makes sense. Like, I don't have a bunch of experience playing the game. I don't have a lot of stories or whatever. Like, I feel like I would need to have a lot more material to be a color commentator. I'd have to be more football smart, and experience would help a lot. I'm a lot better in a play-by-play sort of role if I were to be a part of a team. I have no idea when the sliders are coming. I'm going to see what the slider creators over at Operation Sports are doing. I always follow their work, and they do a tremendous job for the franchise community. Tyrod complete to Jacob Tammy. Hey Kane, have your player franchise froze? Yes, my player franchise keeps freezing in the preseason. In week 2, I'm having issues. I'm going to do some testing tonight because I've yet to have a single freeze in regular season. So one thing I'll do tonight is I'm going to test out running through some quick games in regular season, and maybe I just skip the preseason then for the Matt Pierre series so I can actually play. Tight window, almost got in trouble. Greetings from Germany, Kane. Greetings. There's always someone from Germany here in the comment section. I get a greetings from Germany comment in every stream. Will you ever use Queen of the Night anymore? That's from the Machinima Sounds library. I use those for so much, and then I switched to YouTube Audio Library, Touchdown, Taylor Gabriel. I don't know if I'll go back to those tracks. I like to get some newer stuff, and I like the YouTube Audio Library. It's okay. I mean, you definitely get what you pay for in that regard. There are a lot of good tracks in there, but sometimes I spend a half hour listening to music and I get nothing. Greetings from North Dakota. Go Bison. An NDSU fan here. You're probably wearing a Carson Wentz jersey right now, aren't you? Or maybe you got a Brock Jensen jersey on. That'd be pretty rad. So it's 10-0 Buffalo. What franchise team would you recommend to me? I'm going to make a video talking about like 5 franchise teams you should consider. Greetings from my couch. That's a good spot to be. Franchise team I recommend? I mean, it all depends on what experience you want. Do you want a complete rebuild? Do you want a partial rebuild with fun players? Do you want to be in a tough division? Do you want, you know, it really depends on what you want. I don't want to spoil anything too yet, because I don't want to talk about the team I drafted. But I will make a video talking about this. There are some good options this year, I'll say that. Brady down the middle. Nope. I think that's Taywan Taylor. And I say that because he wears number 13, and I saw him drop a pass in my Titans gameplay I had. So I'm assuming it's Taywan Taylor. 3rd and 13 for the 40-year-old Tom Brady. And he's going down. T.J. Watt. I want to rebuild, but not like the Jets and destroy the team. What if you did a rebuild with like the Titans? They have a core on offense you can build around, but their defense could use some help, especially in the secondary, even though they got Adoree Jackson. If they get that defense right, they have an offense that's going to ground and pound and now have some very intriguing passing options. But it's hard to be a good ground and pound team if you don't have a good defense to complement it. Those two go hand in hand. What are the chances of returning Tank Tucker for anything? Maybe Super Mega Baseball? I don't know about Tank coming back here. I haven't really brought back players from that far back. I like bringing back Dynasty players and whatnot because we just have, I think more people know them and just a deeper connection with those players. By the way, that slant was really well covered. It was very close. Greetings from Italy. I appreciate all you over across the pond staying up. I'm not sure how late it is there. I'm guessing around 9:30, 10:30-ish. You can't run the ball if you're behind by 20. Exactly. You can't run the ball when you're down 10 a lot of times. Someone asked about tips for getting started with YouTube and doing commentary. I think, you know, a universal rule I'll give anybody who asks this question is that you have to trust the process as far as getting better at what it is you're doing, and you need to find, you need to be active in getting better. You need to look for ways to get better. You need to listen to feedback from your viewers. And in my case, what are things I look at as far as getting better? I always look at editing, so I like to watch some other people's videos just because everybody has their own editing style and everybody has their own techniques, so I like to learn that way. As far as, you know, being I like doing play-by-play commentary, so I do listen to and pay a lot of attention to play-by-play commentary, probably more than most when I'm listening to any game, whether it be football, baseball, basketball, and there are plenty of commentary influences that I've drawn some inspiration from. And my favorites would have to be Paul Allen, voice of the Minnesota Vikings. If you ever catch one of their radio broadcasts, they're always a treat. I also like Mike Tirico. Missed him on an NFL Monday Night Football, but Sean McDonough did a great job last year. I also like Kevin Harlan, Gus Johnson. Those are my top 4. But yeah, you have to always focus on getting better, getting feedback, and you really got to focus on what you enjoy doing the most, because whatever you enjoy doing, I mean, the quality is going to shine through when you're more engaged and you enjoy it more. Marshawn Lynch hurt again as we get the touchdown. Secretly, Kane doesn't like football at all. He just likes the commentary. Oh, some nights that's the case. You know, like every Thursday. But I miss Thursday Night Football when they had Mike Mayock doing color commentary. Oh, that was the golden age of Thursday Night Football. Mayock is one of my favorite, whatever you would call what he is, analysts. I really enjoy Mayock. I know I'm not alone there. The all-Kane team of players you have drafted or recruited? Oh, there's a lot of debate for a lot of those positions. Like at quarterback, do you put Andy McKenzie or Nataki Mason? Those would have to be like in your top 3. Ruptured disc in his back. Marshawn Lynch sustaining too many injuries here. I'm a diehard Raiders fan, have been my whole life, and to be honest, I don't think getting Marshawn Lynch was the right move. I don't think it was a bad move, but I do question how much of an impact it's going to bring. With that offensive line, I like the situation he's in, but a year away from football and another year older playing a punishing position, especially the way Marshawn's going to play it, I do wonder how effective he's going to be. Very excited to see him play. And I still think he's going to have a good year. But is he going to have, like, 1,250 yards and average 5 yards a carry? Not sure about that. I don't think it was a bad move. I don't think it hurts. And I don't think you have another running back on the roster that should, you know, carry the ball 200, 250 times. I'm sure that Richard and Washington will still get theirs. I think Lynch fits in. But if you are a little bit kind of skeptical about the ceiling of his production, I think that's reasonable. Brady to Hunter Henry, and that's only going to get them 3. Check down Tom here is not doing too well, averaging 2.9 yards an attempt. I am not sure if I've heard of Tom Hamilton, voice of the Indians. I don't usually know teams' specific voice of insert team here. I mean, Paul Allen, voice of the Vikings, is fantastic. But I'm not familiar with others. A lot of times those radio broadcasts, I mean, you're not going to get them if you're not local. Or unless you pay for a certain package. Because a lot of those radio stations will play music if you're like streaming them during a game. Do you wish you re-signed Melvin Gordon in your Chargers series? No, I'm happy with the decision. Gordon was good, but looking back, I like what we have at running back, and I love the stretch of games we got from Stephen Smiley in Season 4. Favorite player you have drafted in your franchise? Favorite? Man, that'd be a toss-up between probably Nate Bell and Reggie Shepard. Lance Adams would be up there if he were drafted in the right version of Madden, but I think it's clear Reggie Shepard has been better than Lance Adams, although Lance would have been... He would have been a game changer in Madden 16 or 17. Man, Nate Bell's got to be number 1, though. I've always been a secondary guy. And Nate Bell. Oh, man, it's intercepted. What a play by Keanu Neal. Nate Bell was just one of the most impactful players I ever took. Why is Stephen Smiley not playing as well this season? I don't know. I thought that Smiley was the next big thing. And then the fumbles happened. And then Barry and Secchi became more effective. I don't know. 0 slider changes. But that's what I love about Madden, when I don't always know what's going to happen, and I might think I have something figured out, and then I'm surprised when I was wrong. What's your favorite pop? I don't drink pop or soda. I like to call it soda now, but when I used to drink pop, I call it pop. But I used to drink a lot of like Mountain Dew, but I stopped drinking pop soda probably like 7 years ago, and I'll still have it like occasionally, maybe a couple sips, but I don't like if I go out to eat, I never order a drink. I always get water. And like the last few times I've tried soda, it's been like Mountain Dew and Coke, and I thought they were both horrible. Like, I think my taste buds have been readjusted so that I don't even like it. If I'm sick, I will get like a bottle of 7-Up, because it's like the one thing that is like, at least is helping or tastes good or something. I don't know. I always get like 7-Up when I'm sick. The sodas I miss the most would have to be Dr. Pepper, because I always remember that being very good. And I also miss, insert your favorite orange soda here. I've always been a sucker for orange soda. That's intercepted by Reggie Nelson. Yeah, the Broncos are not playing anywhere as well as Carolina did, and they still lost by a lot. Favorite undrafted player you've ever gotten? Ooh. Favorite undrafted player. Well, in the Chargers franchise, Derek Annelli comes to mind. Christopher Costin was undrafted. Pryor did make the catch there. I've always wanted to find like an undrafted running back that breaks out, but that usually hasn't happened. Oh no, another injury here. Who's hurt on this one? As Jamal Williams gets even more of the workload now with Lynch hurt. It's on their side. It looks like Delvin Breaux. Harmon Whitaker. It is tough to top Harmon Whitaker, isn't it? That preseason I had with him was, like, worth it. And on top of that, he's been a reliable player when put into the game. Ah, threw it too late. Where is your favorite place to eat? My favorite place to eat. I'm not really sure I have one anymore. Oh, got there. There we go, Taylor Gabriel. My favorite places to eat are like New York style pizza places. And like the best pizza I've ever had is in New York. I've had pizza a couple times in New York City, and that's as good as you think it is. But as far as like a regular place, there really isn't one for me. Oh, got it to Jacob Tammy. You can definitely tell some of the inaccuracy there with Tyrod Taylor. You like seeing that be highlighted. Who's going to be quarterback when Marquise Walker graduates? Most likely J.R. Battle, but I guess we'll have to see. I love any kind of pizza. Yeah, I don't really, I like all kinds of pizza, except... you know, like pub-style pizza where it's just like they torch it? Like the pizza you get at a bowling alley tends to be really underwhelming. It's like that crackery, crunchy crust. They always like burn the top, and it's just so underwhelming. And then they're going to cut it into squares, and you're like, what do I grab? I'm supposed to hang on to crust here. When a pizza is cut into squares, it automatically tastes worse. I haven't had a true, like, Chicago deep dish pizza. I really want one. Oh, it's intercepted. Shane Ray. I've only been to Chicago once, and it was in O'Hare Airport for like an hour. I spent that entire hour walking from one terminal to another. That place is huge. Super nice airport. I enjoyed it. Wish I had another hour, though, to maybe explore a bit more. However, I had more time to explore the Philadelphia airport, and I didn't enjoy that because it was like 8 hours. Those are the 2 cities that I've only been to in... Actually, 3 cities I've only been to in an airport. It'd be Chicago, Philly, and Charlotte. Uh-oh, Melvin Gordon gets to the outside. He's going to break a tackle and sprint past Reggie Nelson. He's gone. Melvin Gordon getting his revenge on me. Oh, I'm definitely a pizza connoisseur. I have my... I also like a lot of pizza that probably isn't, like, great. Like, the bar is set pretty low for me. As far as, like, decent pizza. Ever been to Ohio? I have not been to Ohio. I would like to see Canton, though. What's your favorite player of all time? That would be Randy Moss. Grew up a big Randy Moss fan. And I'll always be a fan of 84. No matter who's rocking 84, Randy Moss will always be 84. Should they retire his number? Probably, but I'm not like a big retiring numbers guy. When you see what the Cowboys do with 88, it's like, I want that. I want a legacy that's going to be unmatched like they've had with that number. And eventually you have to stop retiring numbers in the first place. So it's like, when do you draw the line? When you have like 20 retired? Third down and 15. I want Gabriel. Taylor Gabriel. What a throw. What a throw! Taylor Gabriel to the 24-yard line. It's a lot harder to get yards after catch on plays like that this year. 1, the coverage is tighter. 2, the throws aren't perfect, so you have plays like that a lot of times. New York pizza is the best, and yes, that is 100% biased. I have to agree. 27 Super Yankees. The Yankees have every single digit number retired. See, that's the kind of thing you run into if you retire too many. Like, yeah, there are a lot of players that deserve being remembered, but at some point, we're going to have to get to, like, triple-digit numbers unless we stop retiring numbers. Like, what's going to be the case in 50 years? Are we going to stop retiring numbers, or are players going to be like number 105? Jamal Williams hangs on to the football. They tried to rip it away. Twins make playoffs? I hope so. I want to see them stay in this wild card race. They've stayed in it this long. Just another, month and a half. The Twins have well exceeded my expectations this year. I've really enjoyed the season with them. And now Byron Buxton's turning it on. He has a double-digit hit streak. Like, yeah, they're gonna get my feelings invested into the team here, and then ultimately crush them. Third and goal, and Jamal Williams is stuffed. I'm not used to all-pro run defense actually holding me like this. 20 to 7. Are the Texans going to do good this year? Yes. The Texans should be very good this year in my estimation. Well, they could be either good to very good. And the difference is how well Deshaun Watson plays. Defense is solid. You got Hopkins, you got Lamar Miller. I like Deontay Foreman. So we shall see. What are your expectations for the Titans this season? I think to contend for a wild card spot. I love their offense. But as I mentioned, like, the strength of their offense doesn't really fit their defense. Like, to ground and pound and dominate that way, you don't want to have your defense surrendering a bunch of points. But they have the personnel to throw it. And Marcus Mariota has been so good in the red zone that I think that they're going to be versatile. I think they'll be at their best, though, when they can run the ball like 60% of the time. DeMarco Murray, Derrick Henry, pound the ball, run read option off of it, jump balls in the red zone, that kind of deal. Savage is starting. 7 wins. Well, here's the thing. Savage is starting. That is true for the moment. But what happens when he has a 3-interception game or he has to lead a 2-minute drill and it doesn't work out? I mean, Deshaun's going to play this year. Deshaun is going to play. I don't think Tom Savage is keeping him on the bench. I remember when mock drafts had Tom Savage at like 33 overall. That was so fun. The rise of Tom Savage in draft season. The thing with Savage, it's like watching Joe Mauer hit. His mechanics, watching Tom Savage like just be a quarterback is pretty clean. The footwork, the arm, it looks how it's supposed to look. Just like Joe Mauer has a great swing. Don't mistake clean mechanics for effectiveness, though. I want to see Watson, though. Put Watson in the game. Let all the rookies play. Where's the coverage on that? Deshaun Kaiser, I think, has surprised a lot of people. Yeah. At Notre Dame, he kind of showed some high variance play. You never knew if it was going to be great. He had some stellar games, and he also had some games where he didn't look so good. But sometimes you get in the right organization, the right coaches around you, and they can get the high variance out of you more often. Look at this release. That was pathetic. That was one of the worst losses at the line I've seen this year. That was Dez Bryant against Terrence Newman. Oh, man. I think Newman just retired after that. That was bad. Oh, is this quarterback situation with the Browns over? I don't know if it's over. But Kaiser gives them as good a chance as any of these recent quarterbacks. I wonder if they're going to keep this a catch. They do. I've seen a lot of challenges actually stand. I had a trap catch on an interception. You might have saw it in one of my gameplays for Madden 18. And they challenged it, and it stood because he did have his hands underneath the football. So Brady finally had a good possession there, and now we're in this 6-point game. Oh, no, they're not going to kick onside. Instead, we're going to have no blocking on this return. Taylor Gabriel, good luck, my friend. Watch this. Yeah, not taking a hit there. What's the upside? If you want to know how to do that, right trigger, left trigger, square. Or I'm assuming X on Xbox. Give yourself up. Now, can this team run the clock out? Jamal Williams, stay in bounds, please. Timeout. Is the game good? There are some things I like about it and some things I don't. Too early to say if I think the game is, like, good. There are some improvements to the gameplay, but some issues are still around. Second down and 6. Jamal Williams is getting this chance to seal the game. Let's get Tammy motion left. And Williams gets us a couple more yards. You know what my tendency is in this spot, don't you? You've watched my content by now. You know that on third down, game on the line, I want to throw it. And in most cases, I want to go play action boot. Third and 4, game on the line. And Tyrod will end it with Taylor Gabriel. Touchdown. Injury. Who's hurt? I just gotta find out. Oh, Eric Decker hurt his hand blocking. (26-14). Oh, so close. So close. To a nice basket catch there. Broken thumb for Eric Decker. That's no good. Let me take a couple players out of the game. We're going to take Mack out for Ronald Blair again. We're going to take TJ Watt out. I'm going to take Derek Johnson out. Or just put in Dansby in his spot. Or they're already starting. I don't know. Need to put in Tabber. Don't get hurt. What made you go for 2 there? For a 14-point lead. Golden Tate handles the return. You should edit your Madden draft classes and make their names channel icons, like make a mobile quarterback Andy McKenzie or a big receiver Lance Adams. I don't really want to extend their legacy in that fashion. Sounds like it'd be more rewriting things than anything. Plus, I like having new players to build things with. I know it's other teams, but I don't think I'd continue their legacies like that. Much rather do like an all MrHurriicane team. I'd still have to do that sometime. I have enough teams to choose players from that it would be difficult, and that means I have enough. Are you changing your channel logo since it's a Charger dude? The Keenan Allen logo will stay for a bit, but once I have something to change it to, I'll definitely be swapping it out. I like this logo, though. I don't want to get rid of it. It's Tabor, not Tabor, from a Florida fan. All right, thank you. Yeah, that's one of those I'm never sure about. I'm not even sure yet about Darquez Denard. I still don't know. He hasn't become a superstar. And I don't hear his name a lot, so I'm still not 100% sure. But I bet you Pro Football Reference has the pronunciations. I go there for baseball pronunciations all the time. Senquez Golson has been so good. So good. When he enters the game. Well, it's 2 plays. Really good plays. Change it to spins out Brightful. Oh man, it's been like 5 days since I said spins out Brightful. What about the running back situation with the Texans? Is it going to be a 1-2 punch? They're definitely going to get Foreman involved. I even kind of like Alfred Blue a little bit, but not more than Foreman or Miller. I still think Lamar Miller gets 65-70% of the work at least. So there you go, another win for our Buffalo Bills here. Darquez Dennard? Is that right? That sounds right. Is all Madden unrealistic or good? I don't like all Madden. It needs slider changes just like any other year. The offensive linemen are too good on all Madden for the CPU, and I mean, it just unbalances everything in their direction. All right, everybody. That is going to bring this stream to an end. It was a good time. Lots of good discussion in this one. I had a really fun time with this stream. Gameplay was better. Maybe not great, but it was fun. I had a fun time. The CPU at least gave us some challenging moments. And we will continue with our Bills next time. I'm just stopping here because I'm going to be getting a thumbnail shot, and I will be ending the stream after that. So thank you all for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Also leave a like on the video if you had a good time today. And check out the Ultimate Team video on my second channel, MrHurriicane LP. It's linked down below in the description. I'm doing Ultimate Team over there this year. Have a great day, everybody, and I will see you next time.